Hey, what is happening, guys? My name is Chris and welcome back to the channel. It's the weekend, it's Saturday, so I hope you're all having a great one wherever you are. Today, it's a bit more of an informal video. We're just going to do a bit of a Q&A. Oh, and it's snowing today as well, which is always exciting here in Wales because it doesn't really snow that often. So I'm going to go out and explore the snow and yeah, we'll get into it. Oh, and I'm bringing you guys along as well, so put on a coat or something. No, I'm just kidding. That was a stupid joke. Okay, so this was definitely a terrible idea. I'm not cut out for the snow, so let's go back inside and start these questions. So we've got a question here from Jack, and Jack asked, what are your thoughts on lap steels? Great question. So I love the lap steel. I think it's an amazing sound, it's really inspiring, but I've never really got round to actually buying one or trying it out for myself. I love country and Americana, so I just found a way to kind of fake it on the guitar. How, I hear you all ask? Well, it's kind of stuff like this. You guys get the idea. It's just kind of bending up to chord voicings. I can definitely do a video on that and go into more detail. And Jack, thanks for the question. Okay, so this next question is from Andrew. Andrew, thanks for sending this in. He asks, how did you get into guitar? And tell us about your guitar journey. So I started guitar when I was probably kind of 13 or 14. That's at least when I started to take it seriously. What got me into guitar originally was through my family. I guess my family was fairly musical. My mum and my grandmother can play piano. My dad was just really into music, and my stepdad was actually a guitarist, and it was him that actually put the guitar in my hand for the first time. He always used to just play stuff at home, and I was just really intrigued. So I asked him if I could play his guitar. He started to show me a few chords, and then I pretty much kind of went on my own journey with it. I didn't really get lessons or anything formally. I used to go to a music shop locally, and I probably had a month's worth of lessons, and then I just got bored. So I pretty much became self-taught. It was pretty much how I spent most of my time in high school. Pretty much every hour I wasn't in school was spent playing guitar. I used to play from the minute I got home until the minute I went to bed. It pretty much consumed my life at that age. I was really, really passionate about it. And then I went on to university and studied music technology. Not necessarily guitar related, but I met a lot of friends on my course who I went on to start bands with, and I stay in touch with them now even after all these years. It's really, really valuable. And it was a good course because it taught me about recording music, and it was more about, you know, how to make a song sound good rather than how to make my guitar sound good. So it was a pretty well-rounded experience for me. And yeah, it's just gone on from there. So thanks for the question, Andrew. So our final question today comes from Arta, and he asks, how do you keep motivated through rough times such as these? Love your stuff, boss. Oh, thanks, man. Well, the feeling is definitely mutual on that one. But yeah, this is a great question. I'm sure loads of people probably feel demotivated at the moment. It's no surprise given the way that the world is, but there are a few things that I lean on quite heavily that have definitely helped me keep motivated, especially during the month of January. So the whole reason I started uploading daily in January was to give myself a routine. I think routine is really, really important, especially for me personally. I can't speak for everybody, but having a purpose every day and having a goal to achieve every day is definitely really, really helpful. My goal was to upload a YouTube video every day in January, but your goal could be something else. It could be to practice guitar for 1 hour every day. It could be to exercise, you know, it's whatever works well for you. But I have this goal, and it's something that's kind of kept me going during these last few weeks. And it's by no means something that works for everybody, but I definitely enjoy having that sense of purpose. You know, it makes me get up at the same time. It makes me start filming at the same time every day. I normally start my edits at the same time every day. And then everything else tends to kind of fall into the background, and you don't even really think about all of the negative stuff that's happening in the world right now, because although it's important to be aware, I don't think it's very helpful to dwell on that too much. For me, motivation also comes from people. And I know that sounds counterintuitive because we can't really be around people at the moment. But I definitely feel like the community over on Instagram has helped a ton over the last few months, because there are so many talented guitarists and musicians on there that I follow that provide me with inspiration every day. And that inspiration turns into motivation for me to want to pick up the guitar and just get better and to practice more. So I definitely recommend that you all try and lean on influences and communities as much as possible. This also applies outside of Instagram. I lean on my friends quite heavily at the moment because I have friends who are also creatives, who are musicians or photographers, videographers, people who are self-employed, and just catching up with them regularly and hearing what they're up to and learning about what they're working on is another way for me to get motivated, because I feel like we can all get reality distortion a little bit at the moment, because if we are being very isolated and we're not communicating with many people, then it's really easy to get into your own head and you can start to kind of perpetuate what your reality is. But speaking to other people who are going through a similar thing in a similar industry or creative endeavour is another good way to get perspective, because perspective is really, really important. I think it's so easy for people to kind of catastrophize the situation right now. It feels sometimes like there's no end in sight, and people can sometimes feel like, well, you know, what's the point in even working on X, Y, and Z? But having that perspective and speaking to other people can definitely help you realise the value in that. So again, if you have any people in your life that do a similar thing to you, then I think it's always good to keep those people close to you, because you can bounce ideas off each other and you can support each other through this time to make sure that you're continuing to grow and develop and achieve the things that you want to achieve. So that was a great question. Thank you for that, Arta, and I hope that answer made sense. So guys, a massive thank you to everybody who submitted a question for today's Q&A. It was a lot of fun to go through those, and I hope you all found the answers helpful. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, thank you for watching. I will see you all in the next video.